check the Discord. I might as well do the intro now. You ruined it. Yeah, you ruined it now. No. Posh Boy's watching. Don't worry, he'll share this to everyone. Don't worry. What a great intro that was. Hello, good evening, good afternoon, and welcome to FRL Live this evening for F1 on a Tuesday night at 7 o'clock. We have got the Hungarian Grand Prix at round 10, I believe, and hopefully it'll be a much better experience than last night if anyone joined in for F2. We had some issues with half the grid. Pretty much half the country left us racing, and we didn't know what was going on. And basically, it was all a nightmare to get going again. And it was too far late of the evening to get going. So hopefully, we'll start again next week. But that was then for F2. This is now for F1, and alongside me, I've got the man who's thrilled to be here, as always, especially around me. I don't know why. It's the lovely young German T-Hawk. How are you doing, T-Hawk? Great. That just sums up right there of a commentating we got this evening. I hope you are coming through the stream. I'm hoping so. Okay, hope so, because I don't want to be talking to myself. Otherwise, that makes me really lonely. Watching this back, but we have got a stream going today. It will be on my channel for now, but hopefully it will be up in FRL later during the week so everyone can enjoy. So you've got me for my channel for this evening, but hopefully you at least you got a stream either way, because there hasn't been a stream last time out in F1 round Spa. Obviously, cut the story short, I think we had more safety cars than actual racing last week, which, to be fair, didn't everyone agreed with. It was going to happen again tonight, but I thought, why not give this a shot? A bit of rusty commentators. As Stephen is in the comments chat. Hello, Stephen. Hopefully you will keep your phone non-silent this time compared to last night. If anyone did watch last night in F2, it was a Ferrari 1-2. But because of the situations we had last night, everyone disconnected, people were leaving, apart from the two Ferraris, which I don't understand how they did not see anyone leaving. Because even if you do get your settings turned off, you can still see people leave in the session, which I don't think you can fault with. But yeah, somehow they were happy to get a 1-2 and realise it never counted in the first place, which is heartbreaking because you did all that effort. But it is quite funny to think because it's them, Bulbo and Stephen, because they are the underdogs in FRL, but also in Ferrari, which is even typical for this day and age. Yeah, exactly. We could. Who needs Drive to Survive on Netflix when we got this? We can probably get more hits on that. Yeah, but yeah, we're on our way to the Hungarian Grand Prix this evening. Like I said, round 10, and if we actually look, this is only my first commentating on this game. I think I just made F1 had a full grid. Which obviously, I'm busy. I've got my haircut next week. It can't be done. So my head up. What? I am looking at her, and I'm not saying a word because of that. If she wants to find out, she's going to have to watch the stream, which is more views for me. What? Nothing. She's just giving me the eyes. But we are away for the Hungarian Grand Prix this evening. If we look at the, as we see, Posh Boy trying to ring me, and apparently we can't hear you, T-Hawk. I told you to. I know I've done most of the talking anyway, which is kind of a relief. But all right, Posh Boy, we got your message. You should be right. Any news On the hearing situation, people in the chat. Speaking of chat, I might as well get that up.
Watch, watch, watch.
That's all jokes you go. Let's get chat up. Give me 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. As it looks like we have a nice clear blue skies this evening for qualifying. As I get shut up. Let's go and tell Teal we can't hear him. Yeah, I think he saw that out now. Extreme, thanks Michael and Hawk. Yes, okay, Stephen. More than merrier to help. As if you hear noises in the background, that's just the Mrs. cooking. Not impressed at all. Possibly some rain towards the end of the race, depending how long. Yeah. Thanks for the weather update. As if you can hear T-Hawk, please let me know in the chat. Just a
Not when I just
confirmation.
say racial slurs throughout the entire stream.
What's that?
If you can't hear me, I just say racial slurs and try to be as annoying as possible.
Yeah, as we see a few cars coming out on the track now. I need to get the map up. That'll be a good start. As Zero has accidentally put on the mediums. That's not really a good idea if it's going to be a dry quali for you. As you go full map up, and Ballboy is the one leading the way for the first.
When was the last
flight
time we've seen that? Bobber being the first one out in qualifying.
Well, I think
he likes to just not set a time at all, or set a time right at the end.
I'm not too sure. I think he had so much momentum for his dramatic win yesterday. He decided to show how it's done. I think he qualified in the top 5. I'm not too sure, but it looks like Zero is still come out on the intermediates. I'm not too sure why. I think he wants to see what banker lap he can do on the inters. Well, good luck for him if he can make it round. But yeah, Ballboy will be the first one to complete a lap or even start a lap, as he just takes a wide line at the last corner to get a good straight on the main straight itself. Clear track ahead of him, apart from the Alfa Romeo and Ferraris coming out of the pit lane, but it shouldn't be a problem as he clears them with ease. Right, open the DRS as soon as you can. It can't be as soon as you touch the line because your car is still rotating into this turn 2, out of the way to turn 3, going towards the second sector now. We see where this puts him as a standing point at 27.4, which is not too bad as itself. Gone a little bit wide in the middle sector here, but let's see what he's like in the chicanes, hitting the apex. It's nice and well. Yellow flags instead of 3. People finding their space, the 2 Red Bull drivers. Looking very nice, clean lap so far. Obviously the Barry's taking a bit of a beating around here, as it can do generally, so Barry is very cautious around this track. Hitting his apexes nice and well. I'm pretty sure this will be a banker lap for the Ballboy himself, which has got no cars around him, no traffic at all, so it should be all a nice clean lap. Good luck, Bunty. Let the magic happen. He's got a little fan in the chat as Ballboy set out 16.4.
Not bad. I do expect people to go. I've heard from Macho that I think he said MC Pala can do a 14.5. Well,
Yeah, I think
anyway can do a 14.5.
I think we are expecting people to go in the 14s coming up to the end of the session, and we are very close. We have just seen with a 15.1 ahead of Bunty, a 10th ahead of Bunty. Ballboy ahead of Unseen Light on the 16.8. Sano on the mediums with a 17.5, and Zero on the inters at 22.0. Wow, what a sensational lap. As I think the next one is a Red Bull. Let's find them quick. Just got into the line, and it's Boa, who's gone up to P4. And it looks like it'll be a Ferrari next. And here he is, Latest. I believe JR Latest has gone third with a 15.3. 10th here and there between the drivers, very consistent.
Yeah. So I think Macho's on a lap as well. Let's see what he can do. Going into also the last 2 corners now. Charlie retired. I think that's in the pits. Not sure if he had a qualifying ban.
Whereas he comes around the last corner now, hugging the inside line, opens in as much as he can up to the line, and he goes pole for the first man in the 14s of a 14.9. Good luck from him so far. There's a bit of a train coming up the last corner. Williams is in that, as he is, which is Sarno. He's gone up to 9th from those mediums. Who's going to be coming across the line next? Sam Unseen? No, he's coming into the pits. The other Red Bull,
very close to Macho.
who's close to Macho.
Vaporizer, only.
Oh, yeah, very close to do it. Yep, sorry I missed that lap. Try to keep an eye on everyone. Still getting rusty, try to get through all the names as possible. But yeah, very close between the top two there. The top two only in the 14s right there. As majority of the grid set a lap time apart from Ivo, who will be the next one to cross the line to do a lap time himself.
Ivo did just have a big moment coming out of turn 5, so... Oh, and there's a spin.
When he spins, pretty much where I think Ed Zacks and a couple of drivers did a few years ago at that corner. Quite a common place to lose the car, surprisingly, especially if you get on the marbles on this game, which is very tough on you. If you're offline at any point, it will cost you probably a maximum of 3/10 in one corner. So he's coming in. Obviously, Ivo, I believe, will be coming in as well, unless he's going to just put this one in and see if he can get a delta time on his first sector, as he does another spin another at the second to the last corner.
He did a good job, though, keeping it out of the barrier with that corner.
Well, you say that, but I think he just kissed the barrier just to move forward, just in case.
True, I doesn't know how that was a bit.
Yeah.
But on the initial spin, he reacted quite well.
Yeah, I think he wanted to make sure he made contact with something to make an excuse. I didn't see that at all, as Stephen, the other Alpine driver, both Ferraris have made a very big downgrade to Alpine, which hopefully they won't make any mistakes this time. I might be putting digs here with them too, but it's just iconic with just Ferrari this day and age in the real life season also. But they are both in the Alpine, so hopefully they can do a decent job for this team for in the F1 session. Obviously, if anyone's been watching recently, it hasn't really been a good season for F1 this season, has it, to York?
Yeah, the attendance has been lacking. Drivers, they managed to do the sign up at the beginning of the season, but they kind of forgot that secondary part of actually having to turn up and drive the races. So there's going to be lots of kicking going on in the next few weeks after the season. So yeah, going to be interesting to see how many people we'll have for the next season. That's scheduled to start, I think it's somewhere around February next year, I want to say. I'm going to check with that, see where our calendar is at.
While you do that, we're on board with Tom, who's in last place on the 8, one of the last ones to not put a lap in. Had a bit of traffic in the first sector, but he got all the way splendidly well. And yeah, even though we've pretty much had, I think the maximum we've had here just in general was probably like 14, 15. And to have a full lobby now is a bit bizarre. Well, I mean, especially I know probably half these or quarter of these are just reserves. But still, just have a full grid is just a fabulous thing to see in F1 terms. So congratulations to everyone that's turned up, and probably get a thrilling stream and a race to look forward to, as we're still on board with Tom Lewitt sliding in the middle sector to keep that rear sticked onto the bottom of the ground. Keeps it nice and tidy. The last corner, losing the back end a little bit. How is that seeing track limits? I don't know. But he's only put himself up to 8th. So I think he probably thinks he can do much better, though. Probably can go half second quicker.
Definitely, I think we all have quite a bit of time left in the pockets.
As we see Zero now.
On the second run now.
Yep, Zero. I think he's doing his first dry lap right now, down in 15th. Who's currently last off the timing sheets with a 22.0. He should be up there probably in the low 15s, but we'll see. Now he's coming across the line now. Had some traffic though, as he's done quite the opposite. Probably with the traffic on the way. He's down in 10th with a 15.9.
Very disappointing. 1 second off pole position. He should definitely be a contender for the top 5, I'd say. Let's see,
Yes,
anyone else on the lap? Bunty is pushing.
yeah, see, the AlphaTauri's gone wide at turn 1. 9th place man, I can't pronounce his name. Damn dyslexia. But he went wide. He went wide at turn 1, and he's lost it. Backed out completely. Did you say who else was on our lap to cut you out?
Bunty, he was down by a tenth, was still a little bit down on his time, but he did improve from the first to a second sector. Let's see.
Yeah, well, the track is getting really busy now with half the session now gone. So I'm not too sure he's had traffic at all. Obviously, apparently he's got some magic. Hopefully he's going to show that in qualifying now. Maybe not in this lap, but he has improved up to 4th to 15.1. Just ahead of Jesse.
MC Paula is also finishing his lap now. He has some traffic coming through the last corner, but he is improving slightly on his time. Oh, and improved quite a lot there in the last sector.
Oh, yeah, quite a lot. Maybe a little bit of slipstream up to the line could make a huge difference. As Macho's gone fastest over with a 14.8, a tenth quicker than the Williams driver in second, with Vaporizer still in third, and I believe he's doing a flying lap as well. So we need to keep an eye on him later. What about the other McLaren of Unseen? In the last sector now, missing the apex slightly, and I think he's backed out because of his battery.
No. He's not looking fast. Vaporizer, though, he's improving through the first sector by 36 thousandths. There's some traffic now coming through sector 2. That is a Red Bull. I think that's Troy. Yep, that's Troy.
Yeah, Troy. He has not done a fast lap himself, so this is quite crucial for him. He's left it quite late with just over less than 6 minutes to go. Had a bit of a twitch, but I think he's reserving battery as his light is flashing. Let's go all the way to the top now.
Very good.
Yeah, as the Red Bull gets out of the way, we're crucial in the last corner. You don't want the dirty yet at all. Up to the line, is just going to improve his position, and he does by a tenth over Macho. 10th here, 10th there. It's proven all the way up and down the grid so far. Vaporizer is on top for now.
Yeah, very close gaps, and let's see, actually it's less than 10 for just a couple of thousandths. It's, oh god, mathematics, 17 thousandths. Yeah, 17 thousandths between Macho and Vaporizer, so very close between them two.
Yes, the Ferrari does improve in time, but he doesn't improve position. Stays in 7th of latest. I believe who is a reserve driver. I can't really keep up who is full-time or reserve, but I'm pretty sure he's a reserve driver. But if he is, he's doing very well in 7th, representing the Prancing horse around here, which I don't think they've done well in recent years. But hopefully they can get a decent result here tonight to improve the constructors. Who else is
this is actually a full-time
driver. I would
full-time teammate.
Barra. Yeah, Barra hit the wall coming into the pits. He pretty much hit the actual pit lane wall entry, which I don't know if he just mistimed his braking or what. I just turned away until the impact happened. But unfortunately, he's down in 10th and he's not going to improve that whatsoever. So he is now out of qualifying. And he's going to be right in the middle. As both Red Bulls are retired, and I think he's just retired in the pits. I don't know if he had a quali ban or he's just wanted to start back. Either way, it's not good for the Red Bull guys where a track is not very easy to overtake, especially if you're in a train.
Yeah, this is. I mean, people call it the Monaco without walls because it's just a very high downforce track, and it's very difficult to overtake. The only really spots are probably turn 1 and 2, maybe turn 12 at the start of the third sector, but that's a little bit ambitious there. But yeah, it's going to be quite a procession with overtaking being very difficult around here.
Yeah, obviously, like turn 1 is a common place to overtake. Probably go up to turn 2 to run Probably up to turn 4 as well, but I think that's pretty much the only opportunities he can do overtakes realistically, depending on the tyre life as well. Which I don't know if it's because of the recent patch, but between the two tyres, where the old and new tyres is incredibly different, as Rudy gets a little snap of oversteer in the middle sector, while he does the fastest middle sector, sorry, as he comes into the pits, which I think he wasn't happy at all. As
We
we
got
see the
Matuka, who I
I
think
see.
is Messina. He's coming to the pits as well. Oh, and he... Okay, that was weird.
Yeah, I don't think that was okay. Genie in the lamp. We don't need to see that. What else? I think that's it. I think everyone's going to be coming out, which is going to be a handful to keep up
Yeah.
with everyone for their final runs with literally 2 minutes to go. So this will be all or nothing for all these drivers now. And who do you think we're going to need to watch out for it coming up to the end of the qualifying?
I mean, I gotta say the top 3, well, top 4 to be honest, right, top 5 are looking very competitive, all within just over 2 tenths, like 2.5 tenths roughly. Where definitely wants to watch. Bunty's looking quite strong in P6, so maybe he could sneak himself into the top 4, maybe top 3.
I mean, you could argue the top 7 are pretty much half a second of each other. So I think it
Yep.
could be still playful for those guys. But from behind, a half a second between 7 and 8, it could be really interesting in that particular period. But yeah, as he retires in the pits, I think he couldn't have enough time to come back out and get a lap in. So he's stuck in
Tom is
4th for
going very
now.
strongly in the second sector. But second sector was purple. I think that might have been legit. Gotta check it really quickly.
Yeah, it could be a glitch. I mean, I think the actual sector times in the top right corner on his screen will
Yeah, no, that was...
be more dividends, but we'll see. P5 with 15 dead, and I think that could be qualifying done for him. It won't be enough time to come back round. As what about his teammate? I think he's about to start his lap as Jesse. And I think one of the Ferraris.
Pala started his lap. Macho, he's coming
Yeah,
to the end of sector 1, and he's
we'll
not
see.
improving.
No, he's pretty much matched his only sector.
MC Pala though, up by a tenth. Oh, and he's... Oh, MC Pala's invalidated. He was up by over a tenth, but then invalidated coming through turn 4.
Well, that's qualifying done for him. No top 2 for him. Hopefully he'll stay in his position in P3, but we'll see. As we're still keeping an eye on Macho, as Viper's now just started his lap. We'll keep an eye on him on his first sector time if he improves, but now sticking with Macho in the Ferrari, where he has won his championship last season in a Ferrari. You stick with Ferrari, and let's see if he can maintain that championship hunt. I'm not too sure, but coming across the line now, and he stays in second. As we see,
Oh,
yeah,
and Jesse is off. Jesse, he's not going to improve.
Oh yeah, he made a colossal
might
spin.
be pretty secured in P1.
Yeah.
Bunty, oh, big moment for
Bunty's
Bunty.
gone. Yeah, Bunty's gone. He's stuck in P7. He won't improve in that position. Probably latest will be in the Ferrari. He might improve his position to get ahead of Bunty.
2 tenths right now, so yeah, he can definitely sneak into the top 5. Maybe even top 3.
Unseen finishes in P13. Unseen goes to P11 with McLaren. As what about Viper? Viper only goes 14.7. Improves his time.
Oh, and latest.
And latest,
just beats his teammate by 2,000.
Hello, Ferrari on Lily on top. Just a Ferrari ahead of them. Zero retires. As Steven has to complete his lap. So is Ballboy. As obviously Bunty's the only one, but he's just coming to the pit. So yeah, there you go. That is qualifying done and dusted for the Hungarian Grand Prix. And this is, I'm not too sure if it is a surprising good. I'm not too sure, but with latest in P2, I think could be the surprise one of the session.
I can't talk right now because I'm chewing on my dinner right now.
Brilliant.
But yeah, vaporizer, P1.
He's trying to
like I
shove
said,
it down his
it's-
throat.
Like I said, it is quite close. Like only just over 3 tenths covering the top 7, 5 tenths between the top 9. It is extraordinarily close, even for F1 standards. I can choke on my own food.
He's trying. Yeah, we should try and get the little things finish, get the job. But there you go. That's your qualifying done and dusted. And his vaporizer from McLaren MP1, as he still died, with latest and Macho behind him. All right. And with Ferrari covering P2 and P3, followed by the Williams driver. I can't pronounce his name. Miss Point.
MC Pala.
MC Pala, go for him, and the Alfa Romeo, again, I can't pronounce his name.
I think that's
Mitikia.
name change. I think he changed his PSN.
If it is, that's just rude. Okay, I was so used to name changer. Followed by Tom, Jesse, Bunty, Ivo, and Pele. Am I?
Pelly.
Pele. There you go. Got it in the end, and that's your top 10. Oh, I don't miss reading names. I really don't. Name changer. What are you doing, lad? With 6 people watching, thank you very much. Make sure you like, and well, you can like and subscribe if you want on my channel, but make sure you like and subscribe to the main channel, FRL Live, which you probably will see this being uploaded to later in the week. But again, thank you for watching, and thank you to all the drivers that are actually here making F1 work as well. Obviously, it hasn't worked well in recent weeks, probably months as well. But yeah, well done to all the drivers that's made up a full grid in F1, which we don't really see at all.
Yeah. And it happens around a track where you can hardly overtake, so that's a bit disappointing. But apart from that, it's a good effort.
Wait, since when did we have red flags on? From Posh Boy himself.
Yeah, red flags on.
Yeah, where do you see red flags? Unless you're looking at a red Ferrari, which doesn't count.
Rules and flags. We do have red flags turned on.
Okay, I'm not
Seems
sure
like
that
we have red flags on.
unless the glitch is fixed, but I don't think we would change the rules.
I know this is
especially-
F1. We have clean drivers here. Surely nothing is gonna happen. That's gonna cause
You
a
say
red flag.
I'm only saying clean drivers in F1. Do you forget about what happened last week in Belgium with these guys?
I was not watching, but I did hear that over half the race was spent behind the safety. But we do have reduced safety cars for this week, so
Yeah, which we did do last night in F2 at the Trans, and when people retired, the safety car came out, so there wasn't really much difference. Me personally, I quite like the idea because it gives you that more 50% chance of there will be a safety car, because you know normally with a full safety car, when someone retires, it's a safety car instantly, so you can just make the gain into the pits. And if someone retires and there's no safety car, well, if you made the pits and there's no safety car, then you pretty much make your own race up. Yeah, it's annoying, but it's more exciting for people that are watching because you're just making a gamble and see if it pays off or not, which I find it quite very exciting, really, as we see Steven getting disqualified in 17th.
it's on the hard tires as well. That's going to be terrible for him. Actually, looking at it, a lot of guys on the hard tires.
Yeah, especially the pole man himself, which might be a struggle getting off the line. To be honest, the starting sequence is not really that too difficult, or if you're on different tyres to the other. As long as you get that good start, you should be okay. But yeah, it's going to be hard. He needs to hug that inside line just to make sure he has that gap. But around here, even with hards, it's going to be quite a struggle to keep Laters behind, who is the only medium runner in the top 6.
Yeah. And latest, if I remember correctly, on the start he's going to have the inside, so he's going to be a big threat going to turn 1. But the one advantage that the hard runners have is that the tires won't overheat, and overheating is a big issue around this track, especially coming through the third and second sector with all those fast left and right corners. Overheating your front tires is very easily there. So the hard tires might have a bit of an advantage in the long run.
Yeah, as Troy gets in a position in his Red Bull, as Viper waits calmly, as Tom gets disqualified, but now we're waiting for 5 red lights going into the Hungarian Grand Prix, round 10 of F1 FRL this evening. Here we go, 5 red lights, good camera angle. We'll go on board with Viper behind, and it's lights out, and away we go. Good start by Viper, but here comes the Ferraris going up to turn 1 in the slipstream of the McLaren. Here he comes in the medium tyres. Latest is going to take the lead. Yes, he is. Just about. Would he hold it around the outside? Doesn't need to. He's got the position done.
See, all clean through turn 1. Oh, and there comes Macho on the inside, making contact with Latest and MC Pala. Not sure if it was completely clean. Vaporizer were losing 2 positions, and MC Pala was being forced off there by McLaren. But everybody's still facing the right direction for now.
Yeah, everyone made it through sector 1 unscathed, but sector 2 is more crucial, and see if anyone's going to be going wide, and it's Zero's going wide at the minute. Down the last place, Charlie's in the winner's bin position for now. There's yellow flags behind it.
And it's a VSC. Pelly lost it in the chicane. I'm not sure if there was contact or not.
More possibly. Probably it looked like he went in head first into the barrier on the right-hand side, which is a shame because I think he's a full-time F1 driver as well. To have, again, having a full grid as well, it's just a shame for him to go out so early on. So I'll probably have a good race as well. Started 10th as well, I believe. So, yeah, it's just unfortunate he was in that mid-pack, squabbling for positions. But it's a Ferrari 1-2 at the minute with Lotus leading the way on the mediums, followed by Macho on the hards. I don't know if they are in a party together, but it'd be quite interesting if they do play a team game here. But, well, brilliant start from Macho. I think he dived down the inside of 2 cars, or was it the Williams car trying to get in the mix of all things?
I think he did make it 3 wide. Him and the Williams decided to go around either side of Vaporizer at the same time and kind of sandwiched him, but I don't think anyone got any damage from that, at least not on the front wing, from what I can see. Bunty was speeding under VSC, and Latest already having over half a second of a gap to his teammate in P2.
Yeah, it's the Red Bull. Boaz just got a good jump on Rocco, but he needs to try and close up to the guys ahead of his teammate of Troy and Unseen, who are fighting for the only point in 10th place, and he's got a massive gap up ahead. Lady 3 seconds away to Sano, who's just hanging on to Ivo and name change as well. I'm going to call him name change because I know that's the only one I can say out of the 2 names. But he's holding on really well, and Ivo really doesn't need to make these moves stick, especially this early on, because the hard tyres will still be taking time to actually get up to temperature. Because yeah, you might have the grip, but the front end of that car will be hard to stick during corners.
Yeah. See, I was just taking a look at the standings to see how Latest has been doing this season. He's only done 3 races, and he finished in P11, P7, and P7.
Yeah, contact
so leading
behind.
the race right now is big for him, as we have contact behind.
Yeah, it was between Jesse and the Williams driver, banging wheels slightly up to turn 3. Jesse Lilly loses the back end, and then looks like he's fighting the car a lot. I don't think it's really suitable in race conditions, and certainly behind another car at least, by the looks of it. We will find out later on if he can hang out on track. So far, it's all been relatively clean so far, which you would expect in F1, but very clean nonetheless.
Yeah. I mean, I've been surprised to see, especially in the first few corners and first few sectors, I've seen people go too wide throughout the entire midfield, and yet there seems to have been no significant contact. I say that, but Rudy and Bunty have already been in the pits, obviously for a drive-through on Bunty's end, but I think we also pitted under VSC to maybe get a massive undercut on the rest of the field and see how that's working out, as Vaporizer twice going around the outside of Macho doesn't quite make it work.
No, but Vaporizer's got the second hand of DRS on this short straight, which I don't think, in my point of view, should be in there, to be honest. I think it's quite pointless.
Yeah.
But either way, that's how it works. But he's putting all the pressure on the Ferrari. Macho's really holding up a train here for P2. I don't know if this is intentional to give his teammate a breathing space, but it's not helping his own race here, especially with the amount of cars behind him. As
MC Pilot.
has he gone wide, the Williams driver? I think he got pushed out wide.
No,
pretty much.
he lost it on his own, just on the transition from the right to the left. I think he took too much curb. Good thing saving it though and not stuffing it into the barrier like it happened to Pelly.
Yeah, speaking of Pelly.
There.
Yeah, speaking of the driver being retired on lap 1, he said he was taking it easy on lap 1, but then he got punted apparently into the wall by a certain driver. Obviously, he hasn't said the names, but he's gutted that he's out of the race, and I don't blame his frustration because it's
unfortunate for him.
Yeah, because hopefully the streak of drivers will turn up throughout, so he can actually have a race. As I think there's the P2 battle still resumes as Ray Prizer gets the move done, takes the inside line this time into turn 1, which is the correct line as
the Haas.
Yeah, and the Haas driver on the mediums as well is trying to find his way, because I think the medium tyres would still be the best tyre for probably about 8 laps, as he's pretty much pushing Macho into turn 4 here, and I'm thinking it's either Macho is struggling with the balance of the car or is just generally slow on the hard tyres, as Rocco gets a 5-second penalty. 3-second penalty.
I got to say, Haas is having a very good race today. Both of those drivers are reserves, but Haas in the constructors. Only 27 points scored so far this season, bottom of the constructors, and now running P4 and 5, and putting some real pressure on Macho for a podium. We're looking very competitive today, as we have Troy and Ivo battling in the midfield. Troy finally getting past Ivo.
Yeah, it looked like Ivo just let him through there. I'm not too sure about that. I don't know if he'll leave overtake, but either way, the Red Bull is through. Good race from him so far in P8. But he needs to try and break that toe off Ivo, because Ivo has got DRS now. But Ivo is pretty much using all of his battery now, lead down 10%, which Sano will see that red light flashing, as he's pretty much got full battery.
Sorry, but Jesse and Macho going side by side, Jesse almost going onto the grass to pass him. Macho had a big wiggle coming out of turn 1. I think he's really struggling with that car, something setup related perhaps, or maybe he just can't get the tires fired up.
Look at the difference as well. Now the other Haas driver's putting pressure on him on the same compound tyre, which I think Macho is just generally struggling with. We're getting a brilliant camera angle. I think we just got 2 different helicopter camera angles in one shot here, which is phenomenal to see. Good thing I'm streaming here. This is fantastic. But yeah, I think Macho is... I don't know, has he got a new wheel recently as well? Either that, so that could be the case. Sure. It could be the case of his lack of pace, because we know he is a world champion in FRL last season. Up to the desk with name change at the time. But right now in this race, doesn't look like he's very comfortable as well. He's dropping massively from Jesse. Jesse's literally got a second onto him. Macho will get the benefit of the DRS to defend from Jesse's teammate Tom. But it looks... To be honest, yeah, he looks really... he's struggling a lot as the Williams comes down the outside on Tom to get the opportunity to get past him.
Looking at his car, it just seems to struggle all around. Like, it's struggling to turn into a corner. On the exit, he's very careful on the throttle. This is like the 2014 Ferrari, just having oversteer and understeer at the same time. As further back, Nissan and Ivo are going side by side for turns 2 and 3. Almost have some contact, but keep it clean. Ivo defending his position against Nisano. But yeah, Macho is struggling massively. I think it might be a setup thing.
It could be, as Ivo has now gone wide. I think he's having the same situation as Macho's having, really. He's just quite missing Apex a lot here. But yeah, on the stream on lap 6, you can definitely see the different pace, especially into turn 4 of Macho and Tom. On the same compound as Ivo's lost it, Lily. Ooh, how has he kept it on track? I really don't know, but he's a lucky boy to get away from Mr. Barrier. But he's seriously on pressure now. I think with tyres that I think he's burnt up already, as we see Rocco going wide now. Contact with the Red Bull driver, I believe. But he still keeps on track as well. The people are really struggling to get around this track in one piece by the looks of it, just in a few laps.
Yeah, and this is one of those tracks where, as you battle, you're really
It's
going to lose time
Williams gone
because.
wide.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, he went wide at turn 1. I'm not sure he was trying to get past Tom at the time, but either way, he's lost on massive ground there. Nearly 1.5 seconds pretty much. Yeah, back at the action up front. It looks like it's pretty stable right now, and it looks like Macho is slowly getting his rhythm back, but I'm not sure that's because of Tom was fighting off the Williams driver, but now he is coming back at Macho. It's all single file at the minute at the top 4.
I'm
But
thinking. Remember on lap 1 when he went 3 wide with Vaporizer and the Williams? Do you reckon he might have gotten some floor damage? I mean, that's impacting him.
I think it's no. I don't think there was really much contact. If I look at it back, I don't think there was because it's not full damage on, is it? And I think it was just the slightest of contact. But no, I don't think there would be any floor damage. If there was, I think there would be serious damage to the other car as well, and we would certainly notice the difference. So yeah, I don't think it is. But the gap between first and second, 4.2 seconds. Which is
Macho did a good job holding everybody up. I don't think if that was completely voluntarily, looking at how much he struggled, but it helped his teammate nonetheless.
Yeah, it's helped him, but I don't think it was planned to do this as he wants. As now Ivo's falling down. Oh, he did the switchback on unseen, under braking. Got the move done brilliantly, but he hasn't got any battery to defend. Ivo goes super defensive as unseen has pushed him out wide. Battle behind as well. Looks like Ballboy's making a move on Borough, and he's got the move done, I believe, still side by side.
He's coming back.
And he does come back as well as a little wiggle into turn 4 as Ballboy is trying to get back on him. He's on the medium tyres as well.
Oh, Ivo!
And Ivo spawns and he's in the wall.
Yeah, I think it was only slight contact with the wall. I don't see any damage as he's reversing right back onto the racing line. Thank God for ghosting. And oh no, he beached it. He beached it on the curb.
You can restart. There you go. Right, you can restart if you beach the car, so it's fine. As Rocco gets a 3-second penalty again. Yellow flags in sector 2. That's Ivo recovering. As Bunty is still trying to recover his position. He's hoping for a safety car to get himself back into the race.
Macho's finding some pace again.
Yeah. Oh, the Hasses. Ooh.
Oh man, goes. Macho was kind of pulling across on Jesse where there was almost some contact. So Macho very much on the attack now.
Late braking from the Haas guys. Yeah, I think Macho was okay to take the racing line under braking, but I think the Haas surprised each other going for the move on the Ferrari, and I think they just backed themselves up because I think they were both thinking the same thing, which gave Macho the position comfortably. But now seems like Macho has got his rhythm back. But let's see if he can actually challenge Viper and get that 1-2 again for Ferrari.
Yeah. Meanwhile, later, still keeping that gap out front. He's just managing his tires and much a bit of a wiggle there coming through turn 9. That would have been. But he does seem to finally find some grip in those tires. Maybe he just needed some laps to warm them up.
Yeah, indeed. But the Hasses are still keeping with him. But again, they play the team game as well because them two are on different tyres compounds as well. The lead and Haas driver is on the mediums. Tom's on the hards. His name changer.
Tori.
Oh, Tori. Yeah, what happened to him? I'm guessing he got into the
contact with someone.
Yeah, unless he went on the grass and did a spin out that in the last corner. But it looks like his Ivo's got 3-second penalty to his name.
Oh, and Ivo has spun as well.
Yeah, the same place the lap before. As Rocco is trying to put pressure on Ballboy still. Ballboy is still holding on to the Red Bull for DRS. So, looks like we've got a good few battles going on, which we do like to see.
Yeah. Jesse's still putting the pressure on Macho.
It's yellow flag, and it's Ivo again. Yeah, he's on fresh softs as well, so I don't think he's picked the right setup for this track at all. Because obviously time trial setup is quite different to your race setup. which could very could be costly in the race, as it is proven right here with Ivo, which is unfortunate for him. As Ivo, we just see going ghosted, not really getting out of the way.
Yeah, it can be quite distracting for the drivers trying to battle for P2 right now.
Yeah, and he's
As he spun around again.
yeah, the last corner. I know. I think it's pretty much far-fetched. Going to see the Williams go in the inside, and so does. Yep, all four of them are battling for position at the same time into turn one. Jesse has just got the move done, but here comes Macho around the outside. Can he hold on? No contact whatsoever. Brilliant move from Macho to get the position back.
Oh, but Jesse's still there. He's going to back out of it. Rocco retired.
Yeah, Rocco's retires.
It was in the pits.
No, I think that just happened. I think that literally just happened at the turn one.
Ah.
I'm not. I think he retired out track.
I can only imagine that it was something very urgent on his part, because he's usually one of the guys that knows that you're supposed to retire in the pits. As the cars behind Macho are still squirming for grip. It was a brilliant battle going to turn one. Also with the Williams trying to overtake Tom, and then Tom performing a beautiful switchback at the exit. But Rocco retiring very odd. I can only imagine that something urgent must have happened for him to retire on track. But I think this train going, later still leading by 4 seconds.
Yeah, it was just over 4 seconds, and now it's just coming under that 4-second margin. So I think the crossover is about to happen, but Jesse is making a move down to turn one. Contact.
Oh, Macho, don't turn into him. That's not.
Yeah, I think he was too eager to turn in.
Oh, and there comes Tom around the outside as well.
Yeah, both Hasses getting one Ferrari, and he's paid the price for his little mistake, turning a little bit too much. Now there's a Williams turn. Can he get up to turn 4? He's having a look. He makes sure he was there, but Macho takes the racing line, and he holds on to 5th. But yeah, it could be some occurrence here as Ivo retires.
And he crashed.
Yeah, I think he crashed.
And how do you see?
I think he crashed in the pit wall as well. Same with Burr in qualifying. But it's only a VSC though, so it's not a full-time safety car, and I think this is our second safety car of the evening, so we've still got 5 more left, which gives Bunny a chance to try and catch up, but he needs to just hold him for a little bit more, really. Well, latest, does he come in? Because it is pretty much the crossover point of the tyres, and he does.
The 13 and he is coming in, yeah. That's a good call right there.
McLaren stays out. What about Jesse though? Would he stay out? Jesse stays out. Very interestingly, I think he's pretty much playing the team game of trying to get a good position here.
Because even if Tom come out right behind his teammate.
Let's see, where would bring latest here? I think we'll bring him out in P7. And look at that gap he's going to drop into as well. Torre Sano, who comes in as well, and it'll be unseen in 10th. But yeah, look at the gap already. Between 7th and 8th is humongous. Like 13 seconds, 11 seconds. Yeah, but I think this pretty much played into latest hands now. He could go to the end on these tyres as well, but if there's a safety
unless the hard runners are going to stay out all the way until the rain comes. If it comes.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Apparently there's going to be some rain coming as well. That's actually a very good point. Obviously on board with latest now. I don't see any clouds in the distance, so we might not get that until very late on. So if you're the latest, you better hope there's not a safety car, otherwise that's going to bring everyone into play with fresher tyres.
Yeah. Then again, latest is going to catch this massive battle as MC Pilot is actually losing a lot of time and is now getting passed by...
Yeah, once again, he just looked like he just let it... Yeah, he looks like he just let him through, and already latest is already on the back of the Williams.
He's having some problems.
And he's cruising into the pit lane. Doesn't look like he's racing. This could be a retirement from him. Let's just have a look. Not really focusing getting into the pits.
He must have some kind of issue.
Maybe. If so, that's... If so, that is a really big shame if he does retire. He's not retiring. Unless he
As
picked up some
Tom just got
damage,
past
did he?
Jesse.
No, he didn't have any damage. So, yeah, very curious of why he was limping back to the pits. But
Very odd.
very odd indeed. But the two Hasses are still holding on to a 2-3 at the minute. Hopefully they will pull each other along and hold off Macho. I think that's only the key here. As speaking of team play, Jesse has lost it. Pretty much where Ivo lost it as well, but he managed to keep it out of the wall. But those mediums surely got to be dying now. Now he's on the grass with dirty tyres as well. He's going to be probably losing that 1 second gap for sure. That he needs to.
Latest now. On the back of name changer. Now this is something that might hurt latest if we can't get through this traffic quickly, but name changer literally just pulling to the side for him. It looked like.
Yeah, there's no point fighting him if he's got the fresher tyres, especially when he closed up massively. Which he's going to be smart enough to do, because I think he just wants to do his own race, try to get his own big points if he can. So if he's just going to fight this point, yeah, hopefully he'll help himself to catch up to the battle ahead for the main podium positions. As Vaporizer has now got a comfortable gap now of 4.5 seconds, which should be looking after his tyres pretty well up to the rain comes. Obviously we don't know exactly when it's going to come, but at the minute it's not going to come anytime soon, so we might still see some mandatory pit stops happening here if there's no safety car, as it really goes fastest with us 18.5 I believe. As Zero gets past Ballboy at the lower part of the grid up to 14th, as the Williams comes in again for another pit stop. And I think he actually changed his front wing, I'm not too sure. So I think he did have damage, but he just didn't do it.
Yeah, he did change his front wing on that second stop.
Maybe. Well, I did call it on the stream. It looked like there was some guys carrying a front wing, but I'm not too sure. Either way, it's just gone to a nightmare for him for battling for a podium. Just about to hold on for not getting lapped. But for guys that are fighting for the podium, which is latest, who has made his pit stop, he's now already at the back of Jesse's gone down the inside of Jesse. I think that was a force move from the Ferrari there, just pushed Jesse out of the way. I don't think Jesse's going to be too thrilled with that, but either way, he is through. As Tori now goes fast.
What is Masha going to do? Is he going to let his teammate through?
You would think that, wouldn't you? Since he's just on the fresher tyres, especially he's just closed up like that, as Zero's gone fastest with an 18.1, which I think he's done his mandatory pit stop. Yes, he has. So he's flying the minute on those mediums. So yeah, he's not getting out of the way right now, but I think he don't want to lose too much time because he's fighting for a podium himself as well. But realistically, third place as its stage.
I mean, latest has an entire pit stop over him at this point, and
right. What does that mean? What does that mean? If that's going to be like, nope, you're not going past me, or I'm going to let you through.
I remember back in F2, Bounty and I had the same thing, and when the front guy then that usually meant I'm going to let you pass on the next straight. So let's see if he's going to let him pass now as Jesse is finally pitting.
Yeah, he's doing. He's
and Masha is letting him pass.
Yeah, he gave him a little flap with the DRS saying you can get past.
Yeah.
So
probably could have done that going into turn 12 though.
Yeah, so you see a good battle further back, which is Charlie putting pressure on the Red Bulls here.
A lot of contact passing the Haas, almost sent him into a spin, they're still side by side.
Yeah,
and more contact.
Yeah, tyre to sideboard.
Boys.
Oh, and
way
he still
too much
turns
tyre rubbing going on.
Yeah, that was so lucky. I think a couple of years ago, in previous games, that would have been in the wall because it was tyre into side pod, which would normally put both drivers in the barrier, but thankfully it doesn't happen. But I think latest, it doesn't have to be this aggressive to get past because he knows he's got the freshest tyres out of everyone. He can play it safe.
I think his main target right now is Vaporizer because he's 5 seconds up the road and he just doesn't want to lose any time in traffic. But if you end up spinning yourself another car around and getting
Yeah,
Saying about an
exactly, and
incident,
probably
that's not gonna
the
help you.
yeah, exactly, and probably the reputation as well. I know as Jesse has made his pit stop as well on the hard tyres, so he's going along as Charlie gets out of the way. Also, it was letting people through in that particular corner. Is that just for DRS problems or just no? I'm not going to find you.
I'm not sure. Maybe Charlie just
So
intimidated by Nissan. Who knows?
Jesse's pushing Barra into the last corner, desperate to get that DRS going as Unseen has lost the place to Troy. Down turn 1, as we see, name changer made his Manchester pit stop as well. He's gone back on the mediums. Was he already on the mediums or the hards?
I think he was on the house to begin with.
Okay, so he's gone to the mediums to get to the end of the race, possibly just to the rain itself. As did Jesse make the move to stick? Yes, he did. Passing the Red Bull into turn 1, and now Sarno's pin pressure on the Red Bull as well. As now the Williams driver's gone fast as well, so I think there was a pit stop error for him with broken front wing, but he is down in 16th at this minute with a penalty as well. But yeah, Latest is now closing up on him. They're not surprisingly, but now Vaporizer is now in the pits now. So would it actually rain? I mean, and how fast would it come down? Like, I could just see a little bit of clouds, but would it be enough to make a very big of an impact with
It depends
Latest?
when it comes and however it comes. Like, if it's just a slight dribble for the last 5 laps, then I don't think anyone is gonna pit. But if you lose 5 seconds a lap, and you still have 5 laps to go, then it might be worth going on to intermediates or wet tires. I think nobody really knows, so we're all just, for now, trying to get to the end of the race on the slicks, and just see what the rain brings, if it comes in time.
Yeah, because obviously the decision is really key, especially around here, because all the time and gain on us will be in that middle sector where all the twisty belts happen for the transaction of the wet weather. But we're not seeing that in a minute. It doesn't look like it's going to happen anytime soon, as the P3 and P2 have not made their mandatory pit stop yet. They're still fine since lap 1. Tom and Macho, but now Vaporizer's now hunting down on fresh tyres, and he's just got ahead of Toy, who has made his Manchester pit stop, but still trying to put pressure on Vaporizer, but Vaporizer might just get away in the distance now. Rudy in the SMI trying to put pressure on Zero, who are similar tyre life but different compounds of tyres, and Zero looks like he's got the upper hand right now going into turn 1 versus Zero.
Yeah. See, the battles have calmed down now for the most part. Biggest battle is probably still for P2 between Tom and Macho, as Bunty's getting another penalty. Another thing that's going to be difficult, especially for those that are pitting onto the mediums, is in the last few laps, if it does start to rain, having to drive in slick conditions on worn-out mediums is going to be quite a challenge, I think. So we got to be really on the toes, as Macho has a big old slide coming out of the chicane. And
And I think that was in the pits. Not too sure. It's definitely a pit lane. I think he's had contact with someone. He was fighting for podiums, I think, as well. So I don't know what happened there. Hopefully we'll find out later on.
I think he had to make a second pit stop, potentially. I'm not quite sure, though, as now both Tom and Macho are coming into the pits.
Yeah, it's a battle of the pit crew now, as Macho gets a big oversteer moment coming in. And
he's really pushing it all the way.
Yeah. And let's just see what happens with these two. Obviously, Macho's in first. Will he jump the Haas team? You would normally think so, because he's normally the first one in, but he managed to hold on his position. But now can they catch up to Jesse as well? Sarno is made his mandatory pit stop as well, so he doesn't have to let them through.
Jesse with a big undercut on them by pitting 4 laps earlier.
Yeah, but now we'll see how different tyre life is compared to slightly older ones. Is it going to be a massive advantage? Or would would it only be a gain of like 2/10, 3/10 a lap?
I mean, both Tom and Macho are on the mediums against Jesse on the hards, so they should have quite a sizable advantage
But
right now.
but would they die when they get up to Jesse? Is that what Jesse's hoping that will happen, or would they just catch him quite quickly?
I think he's trusting on the fact that Hungary is a difficult track to pass and that he can just hold them off until they wear out their mediums. I mean, you saw him on the mediums having troubles against both Tom and Macho on the hards in the first stint, so once they're close to each other, I think the tires are about equal. It's just about who wears them out faster.
Yeah, and now we are starting to see, just over 10 laps to go, 11 laps to go, we are starting to see clouds coming over the track now.
Yep.
Which can be very interesting. Probably might rain with 5 and 3 laps to go. If it does rain, if it does rain with 3 laps to go, is it worth pitting to make up the time?
Unless there's an absolute monsoon coming down, I don't think it would be worth it, because with a pit stop you lose how much time? 18 seconds, 21 seconds, somewhere around there. So
it's not a very long pit lane, is it? So you won't lose a massive lot of time.
But with 3 laps to go, you'd have to make up like 7 seconds a lap, and it would have to be very wet for you to make up that kind of time. So it's going to be maybe we'll have a scenario like in Russia in 2021.
Oh, poor Russell. No, it wasn't Russell, was it? It was Norris.
Norris,
God, yeah. Don't want to have that moment again. Especially with Latest, who's doing a brilliant. I'm hoping it's not deja vu, because that would be Latest's nightmare for dominating this race and just blow up on the last few laps. But it would be quite interesting if it does.
And I'm going to jinx him right here. So far, he's done everything right. He didn't make any mistakes. He was a bit aggressive after his first pit stop when fighting his way back through, but apart from that, he didn't make any mistakes. He looked very calm and composed. And again, his best result this season was P7, as Macho finally gets past Tom. His best result this season was P7. He's only done 3 races so far this season, so he's putting it in a very, very good performance so far. That being said, Vaporizer is catching him very quickly.
Yeah, and now my mind is like, I think this is one of those tracks you can get away with a 2-stop, but is it worth, in his shoes, making that cheeky stop? I think he will get ahead of Troy if he does make that call, because obviously the gap looks like it's 18 seconds. Let's get the gap between first and second, if I can actually get it right. Gap to leader, 18 seconds between first and third. If he does make that call, would he actually catch up if it rain holds off? I'm not too sure. There's so many things that could go wrong here, especially with weather involved. But would it be a bad call to make if he does make that call?
I mean, it would not be the end of... If he would drop down to like P7 or P8 and would have to fight through the entire midfield, that would obviously not be very good. But if he'd only have to overtake 1 or 2 cars and then focus on Vaporizer, if he feels like he can make up that kind of time on a fresh set of tires, as Jesse and Troy.
Yeah, Troy just left off the throttle in the exit of turn 1 and just letting him go or something. Not shit, he's got no power coming out of that Red Bull by the looks of it. As Macho makes a move into turn 4, down the inside. It's like nicking candy from my baby. It was crazy. I'm very surprised how much he just let Jesse go out except turn 1. Is he going to let the Haas through? If he's not, that's going to be quite frustrating to Tom.
I mean,
see that just happen in front of his eyes.
I don't think he's going to be able to do a total of 22 laps on the mediums, so he's probably going to pit again. But even then, he's allowed to defend his track position.
Yeah, but he did let Jesse through with ease except turn 1, so very confusing. As Latest has come in for the soft tyres. Now, I think he's watching the stream. If you bottle this, it's not my fault. I only questioned it. If you watch this back, alright? So
is he going to come out in front of the Haas though? Or is it going to, because he's not going to come out in front of him, he's going to come out behind him.
Oh, but Macho's making a move though. He's taking the opportunity. Or he's locked up. Lock the rears by the looks of it. and he gets the job done. Just him. And now, can he get right? Macho needs to get out of the way to have any chance of a
Latest is going
Ferrari
to need
getting a
about
victory.
2 more corners before his tires are up to temperature. Macho cannot hold him up now. He has to push.
Yeah,
Either push
Macho.
to get past the Haas or let him through.
Let's just
Look
get
at
the
that.
battery.
Beautiful line on the mediums and gets the Haas, gets the job done. And now he says, go on, Jesse. You can get overtaken by latest now.
Yeah, but
Cost yourself
Macho's
some
got no
time.
battery to his name now to probably to defend, as Jesse has. But he is on the hard tyres, so obviously Laters is in the best strategy in this group. But I don't know. It's always he's left the session, so I thought that was a retirement, and that would have been worse for Laters. But surely he's got this move done into turn 1. Obviously, he's got all the battery he wants to play with as well. And here he comes. Jesse's going to try and... He's not going to try and defend this, I don't think.
Brakes. Should have much more grip. And there you go. Look at that grip advantage. Can he get it rotated on exit? Overshoots it a little bit, but with the DRS...
Yeah, he gets this move done.
Manages to get the position.
Yeah, I am surprised he's on the hard soft tyres though. And I don't think... Obviously, on last year's game, it wasn't the best tyre to be on at all. I think it's the same with this one. I think
it's a bit better on this game.
Lighter fuel, is that a thing as well? Lighter fuel with tyres.
On this track, this is definitely going to help him out with avoiding them to overheat. He just has to. It's important for him that he doesn't try to push too much in the second sector and doesn't overheat the tires. He will be faster than Vaporizer. He just has to manage his pace and try to catch him lap by lap, corner by corner, and not go full send all the way and burn through his tires in 3 laps. But now Macho has to let him through.
Yeah, because the gap is getting bigger. The gap is getting wider. He's going to have to get probably he's got to have a second a lap just to catch him with less than 10 laps to go. Unless I think the soft tyres will be better on the changeable conditions, which will probably help him close up even more.
Probably, yeah.
But
it also depends on how quickly they wear out.
Yeah, and that's what I'm concerned about. I'm surprised he didn't go for the medium tyre, just a safe option so he can just gun it all the way to the finish. But we'll just have to wait and see.
If he could catch up those 12 seconds on the mediums. Because we know that the mediums they can make around, 14, 15 laps we've seen. So 10 laps on the softs might be a bit difficult in the last few laps, but they should definitely have the advantage for now. And now he's being released onto Vaporizer, and we can already see he's gaining quite a lot with that first sector, already gained over a second.
Yeah, as Charlie's made the move on Ballboy for P11 from the back of the grid as well. He's trying to get some points for Aston Martin, but he has got apparently 2 his name. But he's done a good recovery so far to get good points. But yeah, it's just a question of can latest close that gap. Obviously the gap was 12 seconds at the beginning of this lap. He's literally took 2 seconds pretty much out of this as well, and he's using his battery to modify that as well. 2 seconds a lap exactly, as Troy has now come in. Has now gone for the soft tyre, I imagine. We'll see. What does he come into? And it is the soft tyres. But he is going to put himself in a bit of traffic, maybe just behind his teammate, between Burr and Unseen. See where this puts him, and right in the middle of them two, nice and comfortably. Hopefully they'll be Team Norris at Red Bull. Good position from him. A 0. It's making a move on the Williams road. He's made a pit stop again. As Bunty, he's just not had a very good race despite having a full grid. It's just not worked out for him. Down at P16, now 15 now. Open for a safety car, but it's looking like it's not going to get it for him. As O. Stevens has had a half spin, and it's just gifting the position to Bunty for 14th.
I just noticed O'Steven still hasn't pitted. He's still on his hard that he started with.
He's the only one
trying to go all the way into the rain, and it is getting more cloudy. It's now mostly grey on the sky,
There's,
so
there's still hope for O'Steven to get a 1-2 properly. He's waiting for the rain.
it's gonna be tricky for him.
I'm looking at the gap now. It's been another lap. It's another 2 seconds between the top two. It's now down to 8 seconds.
So right now he's right on target. He just has to watch out for his tire temps.
So I think latest is losing probably a tenth a lap of his best time, which is not too bad at all, especially if it's 2 seconds a lap. As Troy is now getting past his teammate for team orders, P8 and P9. As yellow flags in the last sector. I think that was the Williams and his.
Puncture.
Has he got a puncture? No, he hasn't. He's just cruising again.
Okay, his tires are just severely worn out.
Unless he's saving battery, he's going for fastest lap, knowing the rain is going to come in second. But it's still pretty bright.
Actually, this is helping latest right now as well, with the cloud cover and the track cooling down a little bit.
And oh dear, O'Steven is now on the softs. Put pressure on him to get him over steery on his hard tyres, I think. But only now he is. Yeah, we did have to use a lot of his battery previously. It was 60% about 2 laps ago. And oh, it's going to be close. It's going to be close. I think he could catch him. I think he will be in sight. But I'm not sure about the overtake. But that's a question down to him. As Troy has now got the move on Sano.
He's struggling, but he's really pushing now. He knows that he has to hurry up. I think his tires are slowly fading. Then again, Vaporizer on 11 laps. His tires are going to start to fade soon.
Yeah, they're both going to be fading majority, but the softs will wear out. Even though they have improved, I do think they're going to wear out so much more. Like a rocking low leg. It just falls right down.
Understeer there for turn 11.
As he gets a move done on Ball Boy into turn 3.
He barely gained any time this lap. He only gained like 2/10.
And now Vaporizer is now using a little bit of battery together. I don't think it's going to rain at all.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that was the right call from latest with the strategy. Look at that, the Alpine is trying to unlap himself. That's going to distract him even more.
And it's O'Steven as well. Oh, of course. And I think he's used all his battery as well to get past him. But yeah, Bullboy, sorry, O'Steven, I know you're on the... I think he is allowed to do that, but it can be very distracting, as you said a few laps ago.
I mean, if he can pull out of the blue flag zone, then he has every right to do that, but yeah, that's his tires. They cannot make it the distance with that level of pace. I think he's about equal with Vaporizer's mediums right now, and they're still 6.5 seconds apart from each other.
Well, it could be a battle for the final points on the track at least. Obviously, Charles got that 3-second penalty to his name, but honestly, he's still holding his own, but he's less than 10%, so he's going to be draining battery life on the straight. Obviously, Charlie will be aware of that, as you can see right now. Struggling to get the traction down though, so I think he's got a bit of a loose tail on the S9. So I think Tom is still holding his own to Macho. Tom and Macho have been pretty much nose to tail all race this race, even though it's been quite tough at the beginning of the race. They still managed to hold their own and doing a phenomenal race so far. And now the gap war latest is just losing the back end slightly. Gap is 6 seconds. Still could be done if there was still a 2-second advantage, but I think that's gone now.
Yeah. Oh, Macho with penalty.
Okay, so it's all to play for them for the podium position then. For these two, Jesse's too far behind to make any sort of an impact. 10 seconds behind. Troy, he's a further 10 seconds behind him. As I don't see any close positions apart from Charlie and Unseen. And obviously Boa and Sanu as well.
Meanwhile, the cloud cover. If we would have had some more safety cars, I think we would have seen some rain. Now, I think the rain might start right in the last lap, and it's probably only going to be a slight dribble.
Yeah, well, 2 laps to go, but still all to play for the podium spot. Is Tom going to make the move? Good evening, everybody. Thank you, Parker, for the comment. As he tries to put the power down, but too much traction on the Haas driver. Spinning the rear tyres on, made Macho got away a little bit more. Macho is using battery just to get a little bit of a gap on him on the last lap coming up. You still get him into turn 1 here, Tom. We have to wait and see in a minute's time. But Vaporizer, as Jesse's got himself a 3-second penalty also. But yeah, Vaporizer's just had, apart from the little shaky start, still managed to keep his composure and just drawn a faultless race to get victory this evening. And I believe he's the championship leader as well, is he not?
He is, yeah. And I think later he's going to ask himself what could have been. Oh, as much as going very wide in turn 12 and just going to invite Tom. He's not going to go for it, though. He's going to wait for the DRS. But latest with P2, I think he's going to wonder what could have been if I wouldn't have made that final pit stop.
Again, he's not blaming me. If he's watching the stream,
True.
Yeah.
And I mean, P2 is still a very solid result.
Yeah, you got to be happy with that. And he took the gamble and he just didn't work, because I think he would have still catched him either way. As Macho goes defensive on the last lap here down to turn 1. The favourite overtake opposition's Trudge does the undercut. Macho covers that very well. Uses overtake and DRS to go around the outside of turn 2.
Switchback.
Lovely switchback. Can would he do another switchback as well? Going up to turn 4.
Right
Macho is flashing his way. Is he going to go round the outside? Is he? He's going to do a Grosjean. Keeps in track limits. He's going to make the move stick.
Still there. Still there.
Still side by side by the 2 drivers. But Macho is still the one down on power. Is he going to make the move done? Yes, he is.
What can Macho do? He might have another shot into turn 12, but he'd have to send it. As MC Powder retires in the pits on the last lap.
Yeah, Vaporizer comes around the last corner for McLaren, the championship leader, who's done a flawless race and very calculated yellow flags as well. But there you go, Vaporizer for McLaren takes the race win at the Hungarian Grand Prix, latest in second. Looks like he'd probably be quite happy with that. Hopefully he won't be too disappointment of the final result. Tom, though, with a brilliant race in P3 with Macho P4 as well. Solid race between the Haas team and the Ferrari team, with Jesse in P5 as well. Good points for them, helping themselves in the constructors. Troy for Red Bull in P6. Rudy for Aston Martin, who's had a quiet race on the stream. Has he run out of fuel? Oh, he's going to lose a position to Bar.
Oh, no.
Is he going to lose another one to Unseen up to the line? He should be okay. Yes, he is P8 as Barra gets P7, Red Bull 6 and 7. Very consistent teamwork going through the teams.
Isano's also out of fuel. Bobo is also out. Why is everybody out of fuel in this game?
I think they're thinking there would be more safety cars, pretty much like last night, which I think they made
come to their expecting some rain, which it still hasn't rained. Maybe it's going to be like Germany 2018 when it rains right at the podium celebrations.
Yeah, possibly, but yeah, unless Charlie was lying, I'm not too sure, just to put everyone off. But yeah, there's your race winner and championship leader, Vaporizer, for McLaren on the top spot of the podium. The Dutch driver, once again, taking the top spot. Even with a very mix-up season, he's still doing the job for himself and the team. But yeah, fantastic result, and I think latest will still be happy with P2 either way. But great result, good race all round.
Yeah, very entertaining. For a racetrack where you can't overtake, we've seen quite a lot of side-by-side action, especially in the top ranks.
Yeah, not too many crashes either. Obviously, especially at the start when everyone was pretty much sensible. So good respect from the drivers at that stage. But yeah, this is your top 10 of your race winner of Vaporizer with McLaren and latest, and Tom. That's your top 3, followed by Macho, Jesse, Troy, Barrett, Rudy, Unseen, and Zero in P10, which he started P12. Brilliant. And Troy, you started P6, started P20, ends up in P6. So good recovery drive from him.
So who's going to be our driver for day then?
I'm not too sure because obviously I haven't really. It's been such a mix-up for F1 this season. Judging what I heard about you with latest in his previous results, I might have to give it to him.
Yeah, I'd actually agree with that. That was a very impressive display of pace from latest. I'm not sure if in the other races he just had bad luck, or maybe just suddenly turned into, Max Verstappen or Lewis Hamilton or whatever F1 GOAT you want to compare him to. But this was a very strong race for him.
Yeah, as I will get the top 3 in, which was Tom, Vaporizer, and
Latest.
But yeah, what a thrawling race. And actually, once again, we actually had a full grid, which was just a triumph on its own, to be honest, which is phenomenal. But yeah, sorry if I've missed any of anyone's overtakes during the race. There was so many to keep up, especially with the pretty much the top 5, top 4 were just keeping us entertained with their
I
strategies as
think there
well.
was just as much action in the midfield around P8 to P10, which we've completely missed because, as you said, the battle at the top was just absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, with different tyres, different strategies, it had all sorts. The only thing they didn't have is the rain, which we've been told about, but it never really
Shame on
happened.
Charlie.
Yeah, but the invites are out. Just give it just 1 or 2 more minutes. And if that doesn't happen, we will end it there. But yeah, phenomenal race. It would be. I don't know if you agreed with me, but who would you had your driver of the day on?
Definitely latest. I think he very much deserved it. I mean, to be honest, anyone out of the top 5 would deserve it for giving us such a nice battle without getting damage somehow. Um, Troy as well, P20 to P6. That was quite impressive.
Yeah, I think he had to work for that as well because there wasn't any safety cars to help him. Yeah, he had virtual safety cars, but even that many people didn't pit, so he had to really work for that position. So good on him to make that work.
Let's see. So
Um,
you have invited the top 3
yeah, I
to
have.
the.
You can double check as well if you
Okay.
need to.
Yeah.
As you see latest in the Discord, congratulations to Vaporizer. Let's see. Yep, good respectful um, response from him. Yeah, I don't think anyone's going to be joining us, so I think we will call it that for F1 this evening. Obviously, if people been watching the stream, we should have a week's break next week, but because of what happened in F2 yesterday, we might have to redo it F2 next week. We're not too sure.
We
We have to
might
wait
also
on that.
do F1 in Austria, if I remember correctly, because we also cancelled that.
Okay, well, that would be a very good opportunity to get that done. But if so, if that doesn't go ahead, we will be having a week break. If it does go ahead, we will see you next week for a redo in the Hungarian Grand Prix for F2 and F1 for Austria. You said,
Yep.
yeah, and a redo for F1 for Austria on Tuesday next week. But that's a big if, but we will let you know at the meantime. But either way, that's been your Hungarian Grand Prix, a full grid as well, all the action to watch as well. Brilliant. I have been Michael F1 as your commentator for this evening, and alongside me is the brilliant T Hawk, who's been just always phenomenal.
Shut up.
Okay, sound please. Either way, this has been FRL Live F1 with me, Michael F1, and T Hawk alongside me. And would you have me again in the future? Who knows? I'll leave it up to you. But in the meantime, it's been FRL. Hopefully, see you next week. Goodbye.
Bye.